Hi guys, welcome to your first session on Adobe Illustrator. The first thing you will have to do is to go and find Adobe Illustrator on your computer. I want you to open the Adobe Illustrator 2020 version. It takes a couple of minutes to open, so just be patient. In this session, I'm only going to show you how to set up your document. So when your Adobe Illustrator is opened, this is the first screen that you should be seeing in front of you. You will not have these things at the bottom because these are previous documents that I worked on, so they won't be there. Here on the left hand side, you find your Create New button, so you can go and click on that, and that will open your new document setup window for you. Within this window, we find our categories at the top. So these are all the different categories that you can use for your specific design that you will be working on. You get mobile design, which is for your cell phones or your iPads. You get web design, is for when you're designing a web, obviously. Your print is what we are going to be focusing on in this exercise specifically. That's for any thing that you want to print, posters or booklets or any design that needs to be printed at the end. Film and video, and then art and illustration is also an option. So I want you to just go and click on print for me for now. That opens the next section for you. Within here, it gives you blank document presets that are Adobe Illustrator's presets that have already been loaded. There's letter, A4, legal, tabloid. If you want to see more, you can go to view all presets, and it will give you an A3, a B4, and a B5, which are international sizes. We're going to be working with A4, so you can click on A4. But then here on the right hand side, you can go and customize your size as well. So if you require to have a customized size for your design or your artwork, you're more than welcome to go and change your sizes, and I will show you how to do that now. But the first thing I want you to do is to go and change the name of your document. I am going to change mine to Illustrator Session 1. You will be given instructions on what you need to name your document when we give you your worksheets. So please just follow the worksheet's instructions on what you need to name your document. Mine is going to stay Illustrator Session 1. Just under that, you will find the preset size for the A4. Now, in South Africa, we don't work with points. We work with millimeters or centimeters. So you can go and change yours to millimeters, which will then give you the A4 size in millimeters. Next to that, on the right-hand side, is your orientation of your paper. So this depends on what you're designing or what your teacher asked you to design. I'm going to leave mine on portrait for this session, but you are more than welcome to change it to landscape or leave it on portrait depending on what the requirements are. Right next to that is your artboards. So in Illustrator, we don't refer to an A4 sheet or paper. We refer to the design area that we're working in as an artboard. You can set multiple artboards by clicking on the little up arrow, which would then make more artboards for you. Or you can click within this space and set the amount to 100 or how many ever you need. You would only make more than one artboard at a time if you're designing something like a booklet or anything that has multiple pages to it. For this exercise, we're only going to be doing one artboard, so you can leave it on one artboard. Right under that, you will find bleed. So what is a bleed? We set up our bleeds for a design or an artwork so that our design will run up to the edge of the artboard or the paper that we're printing. This is for professional printing only. So when you set up your bleed, we normally set it up for 3 millimeters all around the design or the artwork that we're making. So when you have any text, you do not want any text to run within the bleeded area or in the bleed area. I will show you what the bleed looks like once we open our document. You may only put design elements within the bleed area that is okay to be cut off in the end. Your professional printers will cut your paper to size after they've printed it if you have a bleed around your printing area. So please do not put anything within this area that you do not want to cut off or that can't be cut off. Your advanced option setting should look like this when you open your Adobe for the first time, or it can look like mine and the drop down is already available. Under your advanced options, you will find the color mode, the raster effects, and the preview mode, and then under that, even more settings. We start with our color mode. It should be in CMYK, as CMYK color is part of the print profiles presets. We use CMYK color profiles for printing specifically. The big printers at the professional printing places work with CMYK color profiles, so please make sure that your setting is on CMYK if you intend to print at a professional printer. You are also encouraged to talk to your printer beforehand and ask them if they prefer to have it in CMYK color profile or in RGB color. Some of the smaller printing places use digital printers and they require your artwork to be in RGB, but that's a conversation you'll have to have with your printer. So we're going to stick to CMYK because it's the best color profile for printing. Over here is your raster effects. Now raster or pixelation or pixels per inch, that's what PPI stands for, is more relevant when you're working in Photoshop. If you are only doing a vector-based design or artwork in Illustrator, which means you're only working with shapes, then your pixels per inch won't really matter that much. But so you can go and put it on 150 for me, please, just because that minimizes the file size that we're working with. And if you want to mail or use a Dropbox or a Google Drive that has a limit on size, then you want your file to be slightly smaller. You don't have to worry about preview mode. That's not something that you need to change at the moment. You can go to more settings. On your more settings, it will give you exactly the same as what we've just changed, and there's templates that you can access here, but you don't have to worry about any of this. We've set it up exactly how we need it, so you can just go create document and it will create it for you. This will take you to the interface of Adobe Illustrator. So everything that you've set up for your document should now be visible. Here at the top is your document's name that you've called it in your presets already. This will be an A4 artboard or an A4 piece of paper because you set it up that way. The red line that runs around your document at the moment, that is your bleed. So whatever you design, so let's say I'm making a shape, you will take your shape up to the bleed area so that it runs right up to the edge of the bleed area, so that when your printer cuts your document, they're going to be cutting somewhere within this bleed area. They will cut off. So please don't put text anywhere in this bleed area because then it will be cut off. Okay, cool. That is pretty much all I'm going to be covering with you in this first session. In our next session, I'll go over what you see in your interface, and I'll talk a little bit about the toolbar, the menu bar, the tools panel, the control panel, the document window, how artboards work, all of that. But for the first session, I just want you to go and practice or familiarize yourself with how to set up your document. Okay, check in again later.